You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
On today's Friday review, episode 490, we're going to be talking about how to make your water more alive, which means more absorbable, more usable by your body. And then I really want to go over kind of a follow-up to yesterday's show. Yesterday, we had an amazing interview with Dr. Krista Burns, who spoke about honestly, like workplace as well as life-based ergonomics. So how to make your life better for your body so that your body can be in better functioning posture as well as mobility. So you have less pain, you have less inflammation, you have less headaches, all of these great things that come along with being in proper alignment. So I want to share just some of the products that we didn't get to speak about yesterday in depth and how you can very, very simply implement those into your own life. Very, very great resources and tools and kind of biohacks that you can use in your own life to get more out of, whether you're working at a standing desk or seated or just overall improving your life and posture. So let's get right into it. One of the most popular shows that we did was on water filters. So I'll link back to our show on water filters and simply go to stephencabral.com/490 for today's show notes. And I'm going to link back to the water filter show. Now with that, I gave you what you can use instead of the Brita pitcher, because remember in that episode, I actually spoke with you and I showed that although Brita is a great marketing company, it actually puts more aluminum into your water. Yes, it does take out some other elements, no doubt about that, but it actually adds some metals back in from that filter. So we don't want that. So you'll see the one that I gave you for a replacement pitcher to keep on the counter. We talked about a larger tabletop one that works fantastically well. We talked about some under the sink, and then we talked about the whole house filters as well, which works great. Now, a lot of these work, though, with reverse osmosis. So a lot of people are turning to a reverse osmosis, and the reason they're doing that is because reverse osmosis does clean out the majority of all of the toxins, and that's typically goes through most pesticides, plastics, PCBs, chlorine, fluoride. And so when that happens, we have clean water, but we don't have water that's charged and alive. So we call it dead water. Now, what that means is that essentially it's missing a lot of ions. And ions, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about it as electricity. That's the best way to think about that, as a charge. So what we do is we need to add back some charge to our water. It's very simple, very straightforward. So let's just think about water in general. How do we get good, clean water? Well, in an ideal world, we're drinking spring water. And that means this, that the water basically is coming down from the sky in the form of rain or so. It's filling up reservoirs, it's filling up lakes, it's running through streams, and those streams are running along rocks. It's picking up the minerals from the soil as well as the rocks. And that's a natural way for our body then to absorb minerals. The other way is that water and those minerals also go into the soil. And the soil then is loaded with good minerals. Again, we really have to look towards organic-based farming, not depleting the soil with all the different pesticides and sprays. But that minerals then get uptaken from the soil into the plants through the plants and the soil-based bacteria, and then naturally into the plant. And then we eat the plant, which means anyone who's not including good plants, that means fruits and vegetables, at all of their meals, or the majority of their meals, is missing out a lot of good minerals, which minerals are what makes our body run. Vitamins are great. They keep our body healthy. They keep our body strong and energized. But minerals is the charge, the electricity, the ions, especially the negative ions that we need to keep our blood from sticking together and to keep our body healthy. So when we add minerals back to our water, it allows us to better absorb the water, to hydrate our cells, which means that we need something bound to water to absorb the water itself into our body. And so all of our cells contain minerals, and we know that especially, I think in a good, so let's just give you some examples. So in something like trace minerals, which you can get trace minerals from a lot of different companies, and basically they're drops. And you add the drops back into your water, which means you take your reverse osmosis water and you just add maybe like 10 to 12 drops back or so per glass. Now, it can be less. It's also based on taste. And what that does, that adds now some charge back to your water. So you just basically, what's recommended is you stir the water, and you can do this for a big pitcher if you want. And as you're stirring it, it creates a vortex. And when it creates that vortex, you want to drop in your minerals then, and then it binds to the water and creates a good charge. So now your body can drink the water with some minerals back in it, and you're good to go. Another way to do this is simply by squeezing in lemon and also by putting in a pinch of sea salt per glass. And I recommend that all the time, especially for my adrenal fatigue and thyroid-based wellness clients that I work with. And that's because it's natural potassium from the lemon and sodium, as well as trace elements from something like Himalayan sea salt. So you do either one of those. They're both great. I usually just do the lemon and sea salt upon waking. And then if you're using reverse osmosis water, just putting some trace mineral drops back in that. One company that I really like, there's a bunch. So TJ Clark's is a good company for trace minerals. I have no affiliation with any of these companies. But another company that's very well known, and they've been in the business a long time, is called Trace Minerals Research. And they have a product called Concentrace. I'm going to link up to their products. They have one in a glass jar, and they have one obviously in a plastic bottle, which is easier for carry, but of course there's the PCPs, all of those things. Just think about that. You can do either, to be honest, because you're going to be exposed to PCBs. That's why we're always talking about detoxification. Every 12 weeks, do a detox. It's what we need to do to keep up. It's my opinion, but obviously the results show that it works. And obviously when anyone does a urine-based tox screen, they see all of their chemicals their body has accumulated. So this isn't made up. This is science. So that's what I'm recommending. Make your water more alive, more absorbable by adding in trace mineral drops. I do it myself. I enjoy them. I think they're great. They make the water taste better too. And then again, you can use sea salt. So a company called Real, R-E-A-L, sea salt from Utah in the United States sells a micro-granulated product. I'll link that up in the show notes as well. Really like recommending that because it has the same consistency as regular table salt that you're used to, but so much better because regular sea salt, like real sea salt, contains over 82 different trace minerals or elements. And we know of 92 elements in the universe with many dozens more hypothesized, but also with that, regular table salt, you're only getting sodium chloride too, and then you're getting aluminum along with that, which we certainly don't want. So those are my recommendations. Sea salt with meals, and then some of these trace mineral drops in your reverse osmosis or distilled water. Okay, now let's move over to workplace ergonomics. If you didn't tune into yesterday's show, I really think that you should. It was a great interview I did. I'm going to start to do more interviews. I want to bring you health professionals who are at the top of their field, which means best of the best, and they specialize in one thing. Where what I do is I try to bring you the best of everything. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to search out these people that you most likely never heard about. Like there's a lot of podcasts out there and they're fantastic. But a lot of times we see the same people doing the same interviews for everyone. And it's because they might have a book launch or whatever might be going on. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure they are brilliant people as well. I'm not thinking of anyone in particular. But what I want to bring you are a lot of the people that you may never have heard about before. So I just want this show to be different, not the same as everything else out there. I want to give you a different look at things. So we spoke about really posture yesterday, and we spoke about ergonomics. And this company called the American Posture Institute actually works with personal trainers, chiropractors, MDs, NDs, anyone in the health field. And they certify people as ergonomists or workplace ergonomic practitioners, which they can go around then to companies and they can actually teach companies and teach individuals as part of their own practice how to really become healthier through changing their environment. I absolutely do recommend checking that out. So what I'm going to do is link up to their website. And the reason that I'm saying that as well is right now, I know at least for this week, they have a 4-part training series, which is completely free. And their training series, because I've checked them out before, for are pretty in-depth, which means like, yes, you could certainly sign up for their certifications, but they're going to give you a lot of information. So what I'm going to do is, again, stephencabral.com/490. I'm going to link up this free 4-part video series. It's not just for personal trainers, chiropractors, and others who want to add postural ergonomics to their repertoire of certifications and continuing education credits, but also for everyday people who want to learn more about how they can improve their environment, why maybe standing more during the day and how to properly stand so that you don't actually create pooling in the legs or anything like that of blood is going to improve. So pretty small investment. Actually, it's free, but investment in terms of time, and you'll definitely get a lot out of that. So if you enjoyed Dr. Krista Burns yesterday, you're going to really enjoy her 4-part free video series. So let's link that up. And now I want to talk about some great things that you can use in your own life. So one of those things, just straight away, right off the bat, is talking about some of these anti-fatigue mats. I know that we got a couple questions on that. So anti-fatigue mats, in my opinion, are a must if you're using a standing desk, because you don't want your feet to start to collapse in terms of the arch or just get really tired from standing all day. And yes, that will improve with the more that you stand, but you also don't want to just stand with your knees locked out. And if you heard me give that tip yesterday, you know that I've never been a proponent of standing desks until people learn how to stand without their knees locked out or their arches collapsed. One of the best ways is checking out this company called Varidesk. It's Varidesk. Now, I'm going to link up everything through Amazon. So you don't have to remember all these products, but what I want to do is they have a really great one that actually has a groove in the mat. So the mat's cushioned, which feels great on your feet. I was actually introduced this a couple of years back, really enjoyed them. Still haven't reviewed them in the podcast because we have so many things to review on our Friday reviews, but they actually make one with a groove in the middle that you can put a ball on the floor and you massage your feet. So for me, I talked about yesterday, I like using an AccuBall, which the little, pointy things on the ball massage my feet while I'm standing, and it puts my weight on one foot, then off of the other while I'm massaging it. Really nice. Dr. Krista she likes the one with the rocker. So you put your foot on a little bit of a swing and you walk your foot back and forth on these mats. That's really nice as well. It's not something that I do, but I'm totally not against it. I just like giving my foot a little bit of massage. Plus, it's really nice for anyone with plantar fasciitis. This helps out tremendously. And then they make, if you don't want any of those, they also make something called a kangaroo mat. And the kangaroo mat or the Gorilla Grip mats are basically just anti-fatigue, non-toxic, waterproof mats that you put under your standing desk or even just on your floor at work. And it allows you then to stand for longer without your feet becoming tired. Really nice, big recommendations there. I'm going to link up all 3 of those in the show notes. But I also want to give you an inexpensive way to turn your current desk into a standing desk. So before you maybe invest in a standing desk, or maybe you just don't want to, like you can just use this on and off. This allows you to sit at the desk or do it standing. So what it is, it's a platform that sits on your desk that you can put your laptop on or your iMac or regular computer, your mouse, your keyboard, everything. And it allows you to kind of crank it up off of your desk. So it's an add-on. Think of it as a platform that you can now just raise up off of your desk. So when you want, you can stand, and when you prefer, you can actually stay seated. And this is there's one that's very inexpensive just for your laptop. So that's $42. And they have others that are a couple $100. And since most standing desks are around $400 to $500 to start, this can be a pretty easy way to get into it without having to purchase a standing desk, which is obviously a little bulkier as well. But for those people, so those products are by brands called FlexiSpot, as well as, again, Varidesk, Varidesk. Really nice as well. And then maybe a less expensive option would be it's called Executive Office Solutions. So I'm going to link those up to make it easier for you. And then also I found a standing desk for only $322. I know maybe that sounds like a lot of money, but for a standing desk, they're usually starting at $500 and most likely $800 to $1,000. So now this one, you can actually adjust with just a hand crank on the side of the desk. So it's not the hydraulic type, which is obviously going to cost a lot more money, but this is literally simply, you just hand crank it up or hand crank it down, which means you can use it as a seated desk, or crank it up and use it to your height, which is typically keeping your monitor right at eye level. So really nice. That's a 4-foot desk. So a big desk for only $322. You can add your anti-fatigue mat right below it. Keep your current computer, keep your current laptop. Only thing that changes is that. Really nice. So if you've been looking to make the switch, I'm going to link over to this one. It is a wood-based top with a chrome-based stand, but they also make others. They make a black side to it, or they also make a white desk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link that up in today's show notes. I really enjoy all of these products. Really enjoy bringing you all of these new things. Hopefully you're enjoying them as well. And don't forget that if you didn't tune into yesterday's show, check that out on how to, it was our top 10 tips on how to improve your posture. And when you improve your posture, you increase energy, decrease fatigue, you decrease pain, joint inflammation, migraines, headaches, all of those things. So really, really helpful. And then also, if you haven't signed up for the free 4-part video series, especially if you're ever thinking about adding posture or postural analysis or workplace ergonomic training to your repertoire, if you're a health professional, highly recommend checking that out. Again, just go to today's show, StephenCabral.com/490 for all of the details. Thank you everyone for tuning in to another Friday review, and be sure to come back tomorrow where we answer all of our questions that come in from our community on our weekend host calls. Take care. Have a great weekend. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to StephenCabral.com/resources.